I think it was quite an interesting Spanish Grand Prix. I think strategy worked against McLaren a bit. They could have done better with strategy to help Lando with track position. But like what we saw, it was in an interesting race, and Max Verstappen showed why he's champion under pressure, was able to withstand and deliver the best performance that car could do and get the race win. And like you rightly said, we are heading into the Hungarian Grand Prix. Ring is the Austrian Grand Prix, like it's rightly known. In Austria, that is the home race for the Red Bull team.
Oh, yeah.
Like you said, it's going to be a race, and we know so many race in Austria and the Imola race that there will be a series of upgrades coming in. It's really like what we are hearing so far around the world of Formula One. So I'll just gradually go through some of the teams that are likely to come with upgrades in Austria. In terms of Kick Sauber, we know
Just
that
a minute,
they've got,
before you go to the
yeah,
upgrades. Yeah, the format of this race will involve a sprint. I'm not so
yes,
conversant
there'll
with
be
races that have sprint. Can you just briefly explain to us what sprints are, what kind of races have sprints, and how are they different from the conventional races?
okay, yes. The in Formula One decided excitement in the sport, and there are a couple of, I think, 4 races on the calendar that have involved
Sprints.
sprint races, and the
Okay.
sprint races is where, yeah, sprint race. So they will have the traditional Formula One system is the free practice. It will now be free practice, qualifying for the sprint, race for the sprint, then qualifying for the main race, then main race. So that is just a little bit of introduction to create more excitement for the race. And a winner of the sprint gets 5 points, the second gets 4, third 3, fourth 2, and fifth 1.
Okay,
So
so
that is
there'll
also,
just be one free practice.
yes, no, there will be 2 free
Two
practice.
free practices. Okay.
2 free
Okay.
practice, yes, yeah. So
Okay, so
it's just create an excitement and try and see how they can also improve the competition in the world of motorsports.
okay, so let's continue on upgrades. What do we expect in terms of upgrades for this Austrian Grand Prix? Can you just walk us through the upgrades for the first of all the main teams that are expected to to make pole, and then we'll go to the midfield area.
Okay, I think I just want to start from the bottom up, because
Okay,
I
you want
know
to start?
in
Okay, please go
Formula
ahead.
One,
That's a nice
yeah,
one.
in Formula One, most people tend to forget the the teams that are not doing
Yes,
well and focus
all the
on
AlphaTauri
the
and
teams that are doing well.
the Sauber
Yes.
and Haas. Please go ahead.
So I think for let me start with the team that have not scored any point this season, which is Kick Sauber.
Okay.
Their car, the C44, has not scored any point this season. They've continued to have pit stop issues during races this season. I know that in Spain they came with an updated rear wing in Spain, and they still struggled with the balance and the tire degradation of the car. So we can confirm that Kickstarter has said that they are going to be coming with an upgrade in Austria, but we don't know what part and what component or aspect they are looking at upgrading in the car. But they did not yet reveal that. Haas also another team which has already said they will be coming with upgrades. Also, they did not disclose what kind of upgrade will be coming in, but we know that it's going to be around the aerodynamics and focus on tire management for the Haas team. That is another team that's coming with an upgrade. Alpine too has also said they will come with an upgrade, but remarkably, they did very well in Spain and outscoring Aston Martin in the race in Spain, in Barcelona. So they also said they're coming with an upgrade, but yes, they didn't disclose that. Aston Martin also did say they are coming with an aggregation suffered and their high degradation. So there were a lot of things that Aston Martin came with upgrade in Barcelona to cope, and they came with a new floor edge and floor fence to improve downforce generation. But we didn't really see that helping their race in Barcelona. So in Austria, they said that the upgrade package has not been completed yet. So they're going to be implementing the completion of those packages. So let's see how Aston Martin would fare in Austria. For the Red Bull, I think one thing with Red Bull is we saw a couple of upgrades that they came in Barcelona. The front wheel upgrade as well as they brought in Barcelona to help improve aerodynamic performance. And we know that the Red Bull car, one of the strengths is the long straight and medium high speed corners. And that helps, that also requires a lot of balance. So Red Bull have said that they are going to come with another upgraded package to complete the upgrade that they've been working on to help improve the car. We know that they struggled with straight line speed and race pace a bit in Barcelona. So they are looking at coming with upgrade to complement that. They know McLaren, if not for strategy and the first lap that Lando made a mistake, Red Bull would not have won that race. So it's quite interesting to see what Red Bull will come at 1 point and deliver the win in front of their fans. It's going to be a quite interesting one to see what Red Bull does, particularly in free practice and the sprints. For Mercedes, yes, one of the big teams coming with a big update. We saw what the upgrade did to them in Barcelona, and it was quite impactful. And they are coming into Austria with an upgraded diffuser specification, aiming to improve the rear load generation while making minimal sacrifices in other components of their car. So that is one upgrade that they are looking at coming in. They've actually seen that they have the pace in the car, so they are trying to see how they can improve and push the car to get better performance from the car. For McLaren, which is one of the last things that we're talking about, I think we know that they came with their upgrade in Imola and significantly in Imola earlier in the season. We have seen how they've tremendously improved their car in terms of performance, and we know that currently McLaren is the fastest car on the circuit right now. So what they will just be doing is just a minor upgrades or minor setting in terms of aerodynamics. I think McLaren has had a good car in terms of the slow speed corner, the medium speed corner, and the high speed corner. In every component of racetrack, the McLaren has been performing well. So they relatively do not have any issue with that. On the track, looking at how the circuit is in Austria, is a straight line circuit and uses a lot of downforce. So that the track as it is pace, it favors Ferrari, it favors Red Bull and McLaren the most. If you look at it, so most
Absolutely.
likely
In fact,
both of them are likely.
sorry to cut you short, Bill. I heard there's some similarities between the track here and the one in Canada.
Yes,
In terms of length, both of them
yeah,
are around 4 kilometers in length, and there are a lot of DRS zones. I just wanted you to just throw some light for our viewers on this. Let's just quickly talk about the type of circuit which you have started with. Let's talk about weathers and tires. How would it affect the race in Austria? I just want to try and I have a chart here that shows the circuit. I wanted to ask you some things about the circuit. I don't know if you can see my screen. I'm trying to share.
yeah.
Okay. So I can identify 3 green zones, DRS zones. What exactly are these DRS zones? They said it's drag reduction system. That is a place where you can
Yeah.
actually activate a flap that helps you to overtake quickly. Can you briefly just explain how this can affect the race and how this can be an advantage in this particular circuit?
Okay. Thank you for that, Falabi. I think lastly, before I just start talking to this, I think Ferrari is not
Okay.
coming with any upgrades in
No
Austria.
upgrades.
We know
Okay.
that some of the upgrades they've been working on, they just said they are just going to complete the package. So let's see what they have to offer. I think they have not come out to disclose if they are going to report to us. What we know so far, no upgrades. Like you said, yes, with regard to the drag reduction system, which is the DRS, the detection zone. So what it does for the car, it gives you an extra performance speed. Conventionally, when a car's top speed is maybe 300 kilometers per second, 326 kilometers, 305 kilometers per second. That is the general top speed of the Formula One car. But when the VDRS, which is the drag reduction system, has been activated in the car, it gives you an extra 20 kilometer speed. So that is
Oh,
why these zones are the best zones for overtaking. When you see cars, you outpace because the car in front of you does not have DRS, you have DRS, so you can overtake. You have 20 kilometer extra speed, and that is due to the the battery power in the DRS in the car. So as you race during the lap, there's a way that the car provide kinetic energy and pumps the battery that activates the drag reduction system, the DRS. So if you see the DRS is in several zones. I think is in each sector. So there's overtaking is and is an opportunity is a part of this track where overtaking is highly very possible. Look at from zone one, from
Okay.
zone one, which is the first sector. You see that for first sector one, which is on yellow highlighted, there's room for overtaking. They see a lot of straight line speed from the checkered
Yes,
start
I
of the
can see
checkered
that.
flag
I can
all the
see
way
that.
to turn 10. Then you can see that from turn 10 to turn 9, there's also that is the DRS zone. It's short. You can drag the speed straight and curve as well. So indirectly, the first okay, this is the third sector. Okay, I was not seeing this very. The third sector. So you see that overtaking is there in the third sector. Overtaking is in each sector, and DRS can be activated in the. I think DRS can be activated like from this chart is in Q2, the first, this second sector and the third sector. That
Third
is
sector,
where
yes,
DRS is really, really,
can
really,
be
really active.
activated. So
But I
there are
think the straight
designated
line
places where
are
the
straight
DRS can be activated. You can't just use it anywhere.
anywhere, yeah. So these are the zones that can be activated and where you can capitalize on it during the race pace. Once your battery power of your car has been charged and it's full, the drivers know this zone. So all they have to do is just activate it and overtake.
Okay, so part of the energy coming from the batteries is converted to kinetic energy, and then it boosts the car's ability to overtake, basically.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so let's just quickly talk about weather conditions and tires. How will it affect the race in Austria?
I think for tires, likely the Hungarian Grand Prix is one of the shortest circuits, so most likely it's going to be a two-stop because one of the shortest circuits. I think
Okay,
most
so just
likely
two
for
stops.
qualifying, yeah, we are projecting going to be a two-stop, and most likely I think the tire compound would be definitely medium and hard because many teams will not want to go on the soft, so that they will be forced to pit a third time. So most teams want to do relatively a one or a two stop in the race, looking at probably the medium compound tire and the hard compound tire. But definitely, we know the softs will come in qualifying. But I think in Q3, definitely most teams will switch to the medium to try and set the time. But let's see what strategy teams both use. We saw in Barcelona that most of the teams use the divided strategies with their drivers, and they use one driver as soft, medium, soft, and another driver soft, medium, hard. So we are not really sure of what the teams would project going to the race.
Because it
But
was said that
Pirelli,
one of the strategic errors made by Ferrari in Catalonia was the fact that they stuck to hard throughout, and it ultimately affected their result. I don't know, I may be wrong.
yeah, they stopped. Sorry.
Hard, hard, hard tires, hard tire
Okay,
compound.
yes, yes, he
Yeah,
affected the, he
Ferrari.
affected, yes, yes, he affected them because if you look at the race results, you see the teams that splitted their strategy to soft, medium, soft, and
Performed better.
the driver that was on soft, medium, soft had a better result than the driver that was on the soft, medium, hard. So that affected Ferrari. I think you're right on that point.
So basically, whether we're expecting rain, wind, how would that affect anything really?
I think historically Hungary has always been a dry circuit. Yes, it's always been a dry circuit. It's not been a debate of weather issue, but we really can't say with regards to weather forecast and projection so far from the meteorological agency so far. But we have not really heard anything. But I think if it rains, it's going to make it a bit exciting. I think
For sure, absolutely.
to now give room for strategy in terms of tire
Yeah,
choice, weight intermediates. I think the more the drama, the more the
I agree
various
with you.
scenarios,
When there are
the
more
more interesting
variables, it
the race
becomes
will
more
be. Yeah,
interesting.
interesting. Yes, yes, yes. But
So
hopefully
basically,
we think it's right.
oh yeah, McLaren has started to gain momentum, and it was obvious to us in Barcelona that they had the fastest car, without a doubt. It was
Yeah.
Max Verstappen's skills and ability on the car that really pushed him to win. What do you think has been one or two reasons for you that has made McLaren to begin to close the gap on Red Bull this season?
I think for McLaren, one thing that helped them is that they didn't stop improving, and I believe they've not stopped improving their car. They are always looking at a way of improving the performance of their car, which is what has actually helped them caught up with Red Bull. I think Red Bull, one thing that has affected them is the departure of Andre Nui. I think that has drastically affected the performance of Red Bull so far this season. They might say no, that it did not affect them, but you can clearly see that for McLaren to catch up with Red Bull is missing something and they are missing Andre Nui. It's clear and you can see it. I
Absolutely.
think yeah, and I think for McLaren, the sky is the limit. One thing I would just believe and they can do is they should start seeing themselves as potential race winners.
Sure.
I think in previous races, they always see themselves as the
Runners
team
up to
that will
Max Verstappen.
definitely make
Yeah.
podium. They'll just look at getting to the podium, second, third, any podium they want to get there. But now they have the car to win every race to the end of the season.
Yeah.
They need to
Sure.
start appreciating that they have that quality and their drivers need to stop making mistakes and capitalize on these opportunities that they are
Absolutely.
given.
I heard that Helmut Marko warned Sergio Perez to improve his performances or face consequences because despite the fact that there was a slight improvement, I think he came eighth or so in Catalonia, it was still, more of the same, poor results. But it appears that Red Bull is getting some income from Checo. So I don't know. Is it possible for Red Bull to actually follow through with this threat of of consequences if he continues to perform poorly? Because I hear that he brings in a lot of financial stability, and possibly that's why they kept him there, and they don't want a super good driver, to upset the apple cart in Red Bull. They just want Max Verstappen to be more settled. I don't know. Do you think they can actually follow through with this threat of possibly a sanction? I don't know, or even revoking the contract.
They can't revoke it. Once the contract is signed, it's signed. I think
It's
he
signed.
signed a
Okay.
2-year extension.
Okay.
So once he signed, he signed. They will have to pay him the entire his
Okay.
entire
What is
fee.
left? What is left for the
Yeah,
number of years?
yeah. So they will just have to buy him out. But
Okay.
I
So
think
they're
all
stuck
those
with him. They don't have a choice, really.
they don't have a choice. All those talk is just media talk to try and
That's
say they
okay.
are doing something. They are not
Okay.
doing anything. They are happy with their, maybe they might have disclosed to him that he needs to start improving performances, but that would
Okay.
not determine them terminating his contract because before awarding him a 2-year contract extension, you cannot just now after 2 weeks or 3 weeks say you want to terminate the contract. It's not realistic.
Because you look at the standings, I don't know, 60 something is the difference between Lando and Max. If he continues to lose points, it it could count against in the constructor standing at the end of the season.
Yeah. So I
Maybe
think one thing
maybe not in the
I,
drivers, in the constructors.
yeah, you're right. I think for the constructors, Max is really no for the drivers, Max is really holding his own. I know if the season continues like this, Max can definitely emerge as driver. If Lando can pull up 4 or 5 straight race wins now, he will close that gap to Max. But for the constructors, I think that's where I'm worried for Red Bull. I think Checo is not pulling his weight. I think all the points relative is coming from Max. And it's always good for your number two driver to support you. And once
Yes.
Oscar Piastri start delivering and Lando start delivering points,
He was
Red Bull will be in
surprisingly
trouble. And I
poor
think
in
even if
Catalonia. He has been doing very well. That's Piastri, I mean.
yeah, so even if Max wins the drivers' championship, I can say this season the constructors is going to be interesting, and I think McLaren has a chance of winning the
Yes, yes. Because Oscar Piastri is really supporting Lando. If you look at his performances, although Spain wasn't particularly impressive. Now,
yeah.
so let's quickly go to the predictions. What are your predictions for qualifying for this particular race?
I think the prediction will be what's the final results. I'll go with the prediction of what the final result of the Spanish Grand Prix was. I think it's going to be the same Red Bull, McLaren, Mercedes. That will be the top three in qualifying. Also,
Yeah.
aside any other variables. But I think I would go with McLaren because they have the fastest car. I would lean towards McLaren. The Red Bull, I don't want to bet against Max. I said I will not bet against Max Verstappen. But I think Paul will be either Max or
Lando.
Lando. Then the a Mercedes will be in third. I don't know whether either George or Lewis, but I just know it's a Mercedes.
Okay, and then maybe probably Ferrari's Sainz and Leclerc will follow in fifth and
Those ones are
sixth.
not serious. I think the number two drivers of the top three cars will come before Ferrari.
Okay, absolutely. I think I agree with you. So I don't know in what order, but I think it will probably be Russell, then Hamilton. Yes, I agree with
Yeah.
you. To be between Lando Norris and Max Verstappen. So let's go to the midfield battle. How do you think the midfield teams will perform in this race? Let's start with the qualifying.
Yeah, I think for the midfield, it's going to be quite interesting. I think Alpine showed a lot of pace that they came into Barcelona with. I think they are really doing very well. I think I don't want to count Ferrari as a midfield team, but relatively, if you look at what their
They're
performances,
becoming
their
like
midfield,
one.
it was so we can say they are the best midfield team so far. I think Ferrari, Alpine is also there. I think the Red Bull Junior team, RB is
AlphaTauri,
also VCAP.
AlphaTauri.
VCAP. Is it Alpha? It used to be Alpha Tori. They now call them VCAP. So the
Okay,
VCAP team is
Vika,
also
okay. Okay.
with Yuki Tsunoda. I
Yuki
think it's going
Tsunoda.
to be with Yuki Tsunoda's VCAP, Alpine. I think the Haas too has shown some level of improvement. But Aston Martin, I can't really predict what Aston Martin will do. Earlier in the season, we were praising them and we were lambasting Mercedes, but now it's as if they dropped off. Alonso seems to be nowhere to be found in race day. Lance Stroll, who recently signed a 2-year contract extension today, also. But I think relatively from the 7 to 10 position, it's going to be within the Aston Martin, Alpine, and the VCAP car. Then I think down the pecking order, we'll see the Williams and the Williams and what's that thing that and the Kicksauber of Valtteri Bottas and
Okay.
Django Zhou.
Okay. Just quickly before we round up, a bit of breaking news. I heard that Lance Stroll was given a new contract to stay at Aston Martin. Lance Stroll, I
Yeah,
think, Alonso's partner driver.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Is that
so
on? So we
okay.
hello.
Hello, I'm
You
with
know,
you.
Lance Stroll's father is the owner of the
Yeah,
team,
yeah,
the
yeah,
billionaire.
yeah.
So
He's the owner of it.
he cannot say he will not give his son his contract.
So absolutely, it's a family cash that is being distributed
Yeah,
at the end of the day. So we'll be back mid on Saturday to do post qualifying and predict the races. It's been wonderful once again and insightful joining me on the analysis of the Austrian Grand Prix. Thank you very much, Gordon, for your time, and it's bye for now. All right.